Welcome to the Song, Season 7, Episode 9, where we watch Dated and Related, Season 1, Episode 1. And if you were a Transformer, you'd be Optimus Fine. I'm Chris Lorenz.
This is Brian, and I think that we're the most American dynamic duo that there ever was.
And if this is your first time listening, we watch a different reality show each week and discuss it in minute detail, figuring out if it's good or bad. And last week we watched Fantastic or Contraption Masters on Discovery Plus. We had a poll on Twitter, and you guys thought it was a top third show. So you agreed with me. Great. Now, Brian, what did we watch this week?
This week we watched Dated and Related. 6 pairs of contestants gather at a fabulous villa in France where sparks fly between 2 sets of twins while other crushes go unrequited. That's Dated and Related on Netflix.
Wait, was that this episode or was that like the series description?
I don't have any other description, man. It was already hard enough to find this. Like, when I Googled it, Netflix show link was not even on the first page.
All right, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, so the show is hot people on an island, but they're twins now, and they're like, or brother and sister, or cousins, or whatever. It's hot people in a villa trying to bang each other. That's the show.
Yeah, it's just adding like a banging element to the family thing.
That's fair. The banging element to the family. I mean, like, 2 of the people here are cousins, and I would bet a lot of money that they've banged in the same room.
Oh yeah, they seem like they're
Like, I don't know if I'd put a lot of money on them banging the same person at the same time, but the same person, same night, 100%.
Yes, absolutely. Don't look for that tape though.
All you get is the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia tapes
Oh,
from Dennis.
gross.
Yeah. So, all right. So we'll get into this. So right now, I think there are 6 sets of related people on the show. So there's 12 people.
Yep.
And there's like a challenge where they do the dating game, and then there's a date, and then there's some kisses. You know, that's what happens. It happens in the show. Guess now while you're watching it, see who kisses, and when they do, take a shot.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely one where who's going to hook up next? Is a
We have to go as we go through the people. Let's choose who they're going to be with, or if they hook up, or if they're going to be with anyone.
Okay.
So, all right. So let's do that. So let's go through. We'll talk about Melinda later. She's fucking nobody. Let's. Yeah. Let's talk about
we
people.
had a host.
I mean, we could talk a little. So they're in France.
Yeah.
And so the winners win $100,000. It's unclear what a winner is in this show.
No, they haven't really introduced that elimination element. So it's like, how do you get down to 1?
They did say there was eliminations late, like in this season on.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if that means like a BIP or like or Love Island doesn't really have eliminations. It like when you put money in a show like this, I'm very heavily against it. Like, what are you here for then? Are you here for the money? Are you here to bang? Are you here to get like in a relationship? Like, what are you in here for?
I mean, you're just winning no matter what. It's like, okay, I can maybe win $100,000, and then, oh damn, I just banged a couple people here. Sucks.
Well, what if you don't bang anyone and you don't get in a relationship? Are you winning then?
You fucking failed, dude. They put all the cards on the table, and you could just pick from them.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's move. Let's talk about some people here.
Okay.
We don't know. Maybe we'll watch the whole season's out. So somebody at home is like, "This is how you win the money," and we're like, "Tweet at me, bro. Let's fight."
Stop starting Twitter wars, dude. I told you about this.
All right. So we got Joey and Karina are our first couple. So they're not a couple. They're brother and sister.
Stop trying
Trying to make it happen. Joey's 27 or 28, and Karina's 23. And the big story with them is Karina really likes somebody named Kaz, which we'll get to who they are. And Joey's uncomfortable with Karina dating and like flirting in front of him because 5-year gap is pretty big for like brother sister pair, and like I could see that being a little awkward for at least like the little sister to flirt and like try to bang. Like she was trying to bang this guy, like hardcore. Like we're not talking like petty flirts here. We're talking like, I'm on my knees kind of situation, like kind of flirting. And that was definitely awkward for Joey. And like we didn't see Joey really like say anything about any of the women at all.
No, this is all about Karina.
At least this episode. Not, yeah. I mean, I'm sure that he did. But
everybody's gonna be banging in this show. Like, let's be
clear. I mean, everyone is hot enough to bang somebody else in the show for sure. The problem is that when you have all 10s in this house, if you're an 8, that's a problem for you. And it's not a problem for you when you're not in this house. Like if you're an 8 and you walk into a bar, you're one of the Illuminati. You're one of the hottest people in that bar.
Why'd you choose Illuminati?
I don't. You leave me alone. You're like one of the elites. That's why. You're like one of the top. Like you don't need to work to bang when you're like an 8. But if you're a 10, like you obviously don't need to work. But when you're 8 and then you're surrounded by 10s, that's a problem. And I think that Joey might fall in that category. Like he's not unattractive, but he's not cast level attractive.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
So I don't know who Joey is going to hook up with.
I'll just throw out a random one. Diamond.
Yeah, I was thinking Diamond because that's the other brother sister pair is Diamond and Dion, which they should have gone on a date with them. Which will Joey and Karina win this like dating game and get to pick somebody to go on a date, which we'll talk about the date later. But they should have went on this date because it was real awkward for Joey on this date because he had tried to wingman his younger sister. Like that's a recipe for disaster.
That's a tough one, but I mean, like he also did some of the right stuff. It was just,
I mean, for a first night thing, Karina should have been wingmanning him. Like, it's much easier for like the younger sister to see their older brother as like a sexual like being than like, I don't know. Personal experience as being the older brother is weird, with the younger sister.
That's a fair point.
So I feel for Joey in this situation, for sure. And Karina is not going to hook up with Kaz. So who do you think Karina's going to hook up with?
I think she's going to settle for Jason.
I think she's going to hook up with somebody not on the show yet.
Oh, okay. That's a good guess.
I don't know what Chris and Jason are going to do, but I don't think Karina is in their wheelhouse.
Okay. I'm kind of thinking based on the OG crew.
Yeah. I mean, in the OG crew, Chris and Jason are the only ones really left. Because she had no interest in Kieran, and that would be really weird for her to hook up with Kieran after this.
Yep.
But maybe. It's a possibility. You just pick Jason, I'm going to pick Chris.
Okay.
What happens if we win? Who's writing this down?
Oh, the transcript will got it.
The transcript. Okay. That's going to work. All right. Let's talk about, since we talked about them, let's talk about Kaz and Kieran. So they are identical twins. They are, I would argue, they're one of the hottest people on the show, I think. But our buddy VJ, he's been on the podcast before, said that Kaz is 7x hotter than Kieran.
Yeah,
Brian, do you think that?
I agree with that.
I just don't like. They're both hot. I'll give you Kaz might be hotter, but 7 times hotter. I don't even know if he's 2 times hotter. He's part of the Illuminati.
It does sound big when it's like, oh yeah, it's like a 90 versus like a 95.
Yeah, Kieran's a 9, Kaz is a 10.
I think the difference is a lot more than that, though.
You think Kieran is not a 9?
I say maybe 8.5.
You're really gonna squabble
No, or 8.
over a 0.5?
Yeah.
Okay. So Kaz and Kieran really like this other set of twins, Diana and Nina, but they had to go on a date with Joey and Karina. And Karina really like Kaz, blah, blah, blah. It's a lot of fucking bullshit drama shit. But Kaz didn't like Karina, blah, blah, blah. You know, too long, didn't read. That's the episode.
I'm surprised you wrote down all this because, like, at a certain point, I could not care.
Yeah, I wrote it down. Oh.
Yeah.
I wrote
It was also tough to, like, write all that. So impressive. Good job.
Yeah, we wrote it down. We got the notes for you. Yeah, so the date didn't go that well, and I thought the date was picked the wrong people to go on a date.
Yeah, they definitely should have gone with the other brother sister pair.
But if you were Karina and if you wanted any chance with Kaz, that was the night to do it. Because like, if you let Kaz go, you know they're gonna get much closer to the other twins.
Yeah, that was a big sacrifice for Joey. So
I mean, it's a big sacrifice for her too, because now, like, now she like wasted that date essentially,
maybe
and she's gonna get upset, as we saw. She gets upset next episode, finding out that Kaz, like, they kiss one of the other girls after their date, which I think is pretty disrespectful, and I can see why you'd be upset. Like, we just had a great date, and then you went home and you banged your roommate or something. Like that's like a Seinfeld plot. Like, that's fucking.
Yeah, I also
That's
think
weird.
Yeah, well, it's also like for a show like this, everything moves at hyper speed.
Well, there's nothing to do except for drink and bang. So like, we if that was the only thing you had to do in your day, like, it would seem like things are going at hyperspeed. And you were surrounded by the rest of the people at your same like number, which I'm not going to give anyone, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, we should move on from this.
All right. So Kaz obviously going to be with, is it Diana or Nina? I don't remember. Diana?
I do not remember either.
Do you think Kieran is going to hook up with Nina then?
No.
Okay.
I think he's going to try and not happening.
So who do you think it's going to be?
I think Kieran's going to go for Karina.
Oh, it's possible. I think that's a good one.
I think he's going to go for her,
Since you went that, I'll go with Lily.
All right. That's a good choice, too.
I don't know who's writing this down. Rob, write this down.
Thank you.
All right, so our next couple is Lily and Maddie. Not a lot to say about these people other than they're young. They're 20 and 22. And one of them, I think Lily, was wearing star sunglasses that were absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I could not stand looking at them.
They were very non-functional.
But I do kind of like the idea of novelty-shaped glasses. So what shape would you get?
What shape would I get? I mean, every like New Year's you kind of have novelty glasses, right? With the 2020. Yep. So like, what would be a good novelty? Like, I don't know.
What about Saturn?
Saturn. I feel like, you go to a sporting event with like some fun, like hometown sport glasses.
Ooh, bricks of cheese.
What about an eagle for the Eagles?
All
what
right.
about a kraken? What if you got like some sort of like giant squid?
Ooh, I like the sound of this.
It's more, and then it just turns into a whole face mask. This is what's happening. Is you just got a giant face mask. This is what's going on.
They already sell those though, so we're good.
All right. So Lily and Maddie. So I already picked Lily for Joey, and Maddie is going with Dion.
Yep.
At least in my mind.
I think that's what's gonna happen.
All right, so let's talk about Dion and Diamond. Just like, okay, so Dion is spelled Deyon, not
Really?
not the
Oh.
traditional way to spell Dion. And then Diamond is spelled Dyman.
Oh, how did I miss that? I just like listened to it. Dang.
Yeah, and they keep calling her Diamond, but there's no D at the end of this. It's just Diamond.
I feel like it just naturally flows to that. Like you
I
want to
know.
complete it.
My notes are very sexual adventurous, and that must have been Diamond.
Oh, oh yeah, it definitely was.
And we found out Dion had a crush on SpongeBob when he was a kid.
That is an amazing crush. Like
Look,
of
he's
any
a-
cartoon character,
Yeah.
you choose a fucking sponge.
Brett, what was your cartoon character crush?
Ooh,
I
Think-
got mine. If you don't know,
I was trying to remember the person from Teen Titans. It was one of those.
I don't know. I didn't watch that. Like, I feel like Kim Possible might have been it.
Kim Possible's a good one.
Yeah, I think that's probably about it. He also had this terrible pickup line, which I told you at the beginning of this, which was, I'll read it again for you guys, so you guys know, because they did it twice in the show, so you get it twice here. If you were a Transformer, you'd be Optimus Fine.
See, we laughed when you initially said it, and then he actually used it,
Yeah,
and it
He
worked.
said it in his confessional at the beginning as his intro. Then, like, Diamond sets him up with the young Lily and Maddie, and one of them he says it to, and she's like, she laughed, and and it worked, and they kissed. So there's your first shot. Shots.
That's gonna be hook up
Everybody-
next, probably. I feel like that's a
Yeah, we already kind of went over that. Yeah, I feel like that's a quick hookup right there.
yeah.
They're both 22. It's going to happen. And we know that we could talk about Diana and Nina here. They're twins. They're from London. They're 28. And it seemed like Diana was really upset with like when Kaz came back from the date, and like she was crying about it. Kaz came out, and then they made out. So this is also a possible hookup situation because she seemed already emotionally invested, and it's day one. So it's possible, but she seemed a little more reserved, trying to be a little reserved. The other thing to note about these people is that they got some work done. Their lips are out of control, and they've got giant bazunkas. They're not my type. Like, I think in a normal place, these might be considered like 10s, but like anytime when somebody's lips look out of control, automatically knocks you down.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think that like they did overdo it, but I don't think that that really works. I don't know why they did it.
I don't know. They're going on the show. Who knows? You
Yeah.
know, you got to own what happens. Like after you get it done, it's not a permanent thing. It like it reverts back after a bit.
Yeah.
So you know, you go
Oh.
on the show, you spend a little bit more money getting your lips done. You know,
Do you think that they did it like after they got the part for it? Like, oh yeah, you got it. Now let's just go.
100%.
Okay, that's a
It's either that or they keep doing it. It's unclear. They also were they the ones that said they wanted the ring on their finger?
yes.
Yeah. I mean, they're both they're like 28, so that would make sense. So that's why I think they're not going to be the like quickest hookup. Because they're a little more reserved. They're a little older.
Yeah, and that'll be fine. There'll be plenty of people to do it, but I also think that like they still need to move a little fast because it's a friggin' dating show.
I mean, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? So we know what's going to happen with Diana, and we said Nina was going to hook up with Joey? No. Who did we say? I think so. That's the only other
I think it was
person.
Joey. Yeah.
That's the only person. Oh, there's Chris and Jason, which are people we haven't talked about yet. Which
I mean, they're just a something else. They've got a very douchey vibe.
they are the definition of fuckboys, as every once in a while, somebody would say "fuck boys" as they were talking about Chris and Jason in the show. I forget who was saying that, but yeah, they have the Jonathan Taylor Thomas haircut. They're good old boys from Texas. Are they from? I think they're from Texas. They are on the show to meet exotic girls.
That is you can't really do that.
And one of their quotes of their confessional, or not in their confessional, in their like intro, was "The more fucks you give, the more fucks you get," which was really close to being my intro. Just didn't want to start out with a bunch of cursing.
Yeah, that's kind of fair.
And then at some point, I think Chris says, "All my exes live in Texas."
Yeah, I wrote that down too. That was a great line.
When the Texas girls comes in. I also wrote, "We're not thirsty," which I guess that's I think that was a response to somebody called them out on being fuckboys, but I don't really remember. And then this is the best thing that happened, I think, in the whole episode was that Kaz and Kieran were hitting on Diana and Nina, and then Chris and Jason are looking down from the balcony, and they say this line that, "Oh, I'm glad they're spitting game, because when we spit, they'll know how much better we spit."
That is just. I don't think I could ever get that much confidence.
Like, that was just next level. Like, I know how to hook up with women. But, like, as I tell you, they're part of the Illuminati. These people are like 9s, 10s, and they're walking to a bar. They're the hottest person in the bar. And now you're coming to a place where other hottest people in the bar, you know?
Yep.
And you can't just be playing like that. That's not how you play in the play, and the players are the playing.
You want to repeat that?
No. And then the only other thing that really happened was they were playing that dating game or whatever, and they asked how many women the one other guy slept with, and the number was 85, which people on the show were shocked, and VJ was shocked. But I'm like, 85 women, they're 27, they're part of the Illuminati. Like, that seems that seems like a almost a low amount of women for him to be slept with.
I don't know. I feel like there's got to be like some short-term relationships in there.
I mean, maybe, but that's only 8. That's only like roughly 8 women a year. Like, that's not like,
Yeah.
in college, like, that dude's hooking up with somebody like every weekend.
That's actually fair. That's probably that. It's probably
Like
less
if that
right
guy
now.
wanted to, he could do that in like a year and a half.
Yeah, but nobody has time for that.
I know he don't have time for that, but if he wanted to,
Yeah.
like, it's certainly possible for him to, like, you know, hook up with as many women as he wanted. It feels restrained to me.
Yeah, that's fair. But I also think that like the douchiness might also put off some people.
Oh, I mean, he's a douche. Let's be like,
Yeah.
I don't. You say that, and like I just said it, but like he's a fuck boy. He doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily come off as like a huge douche to me. Like, at least in the terms of the edit we saw, he might be a huge douche. The quote I just said seemed very douchey, where he's like, you know, he has the best game, you know, kind of douchey, but like, who knows? He could be a nice guy.
Yeah,
Just
all right.
That just looks really good. That likes to hook up with women. Like, that doesn't make you a douche.
That's fair.
Like,
Okay.
nothing in the show made me think of him as a douche. But again, we're watching the edit of the show, so who knows what's actually going on? Because he's going to be very nice to everyone on the show, so who knows what he's going to be outside the show?
We'll just have to watch and see.
We have to look him up on the TikToks and Instagrams.
Oh God. Yeah, the first people, Joey and Karina, were like TikTok stars too. Did we learn like the professions of anybody else?
There is an article of everyone's professions and who they are. If you want me to like,
No, not really.
if you want to really know, they're there.
Okay, I can look that up.
All right, should we talk about our host quick?
Yeah, because she's a big nothing burger.
What's her name again? Melinda. Apparently, she was in Too Hot to Handle, which is why she's the host of the show, I think.
Yep.
And at some point in the episode, so she comes out, she's giving like, what's the right word? She's narrating a bit. She's like the narrator. I think it's the same person. And at some point she gives like the challenge to them with this weird phone. It's like a Jersey Shore style phone, but it's lips. But then they show her in a bathtub with a bunch of suds. It's such a weird thing to do.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, like I'm not even gonna be there. I'm phoning this in. I'm making money and suck it.
It's so true. Yeah.
Yeah, we just got to move past her. Like, she was okay. I'm happy that she's getting paid because stay in the Netflix universe, babe.
Stay in the Netflix universe. Maddie's a cocktail waitress and a student.
All right.
Kaz is a firefighter.
Perfect.
Kieran is a banking consultant.
Meh.
I mean, as I was talking during the show, it was like, do you want the firefighter? Hot. But banking consultant, like, making more money.
No, you bang Kaz, and then you get Kieran at the end of the show.
Maybe if you get both.
Yeah, exactly.
I winked at Brian there, so just so everyone knows. Let's see. Jason is a lifeguard and jet ski instructor.
That also makes a lot of sense now.
I'm pretty sure he's an Instagram influencer. Chris is a server and surf instructor. Diamond is a medical assistant. Let's see. Dion is an HR manager and sports model. Let's see. Diana is a jewelry specialist. Nina is also a jewelry specialist. They work together. Karina's 23. She works as a music teacher. Did I get everyone? No, Joey. He is a customs brokerage manager. There you go.
All right.
All hot things people are going down. Any other minutia we should go over?
The crush on SpongeBob that we mentioned, that was like that whole segment of the dating game felt a little weird.
I thought they did a great job. They didn't linger on anything really. They kind of fast forwarded through it all, and they were like, "This person won," and I'm like, "Great, we really moved along here."
Yeah, they did it well for that. It just felt like some of those questions were a little like, "What? Why do you know this?"
Yeah, I mean that's the dating game, Brian.
I know.
That's the point of the dating game is to ask weird, out of the bar questions, like, and to get them in trouble, create some drama. That's the show.
Yep. And then the 85 chicks.
37? That's a Clerks reference for anyone that didn't get it. Yeah, I mean, overall, I think the show, the edit-wise, was done very well. Like, Netflix, this is their best edited show, I think. Because, like, this show, like, it's all edit. Like, you just got hot people and, you're trying to get them to flirt. And these, the casting of the show, I think, was done really well. You got some serious flirting. You got some people that really want to hook up. And that was great. But at the end of the day, it's really like, how do you take that footage and make a compelling TV show? And I think they did an amazing job. I think that, I assume this was filmed during COVID and these people are ready to slay and, they're pent up and, the clubs aren't open anymore. And, by all means. So
Yep.
let's do some questions.
Yes.
We got, what is the worst human being? Or who? Not what.
I don't think anybody's like really that bad in this. Joey's like kind of the closest.
Why? Because he was being a little bitch?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like either Kaz or Diana. Like Kaz for making out with somebody after they go on a date with somebody else. And when they're stuck with 12 people, Like that's that's not. You're being really disrespectful to the other date for sure.
Are you going into like the next episode stuff?
No, I mean we know Karita is upset about this,
Yeah.
but even beside that, it's not like you could just walk away from Karina. Like if you had 2 dates in one day, sure, whatever. Like you're not like stuck in the house of those 2 dates,
Yep.
But also, I feel like Diana could be up for like the emotional manipulation. Like you spent an hour talking to this guy outside, and now you're like walking away crying because he went on a date with somebody else in a show about dating other people. Like, why do you be such a bitch?
Yeah. At a certain point, you gotta realize this is gonna happen, and you just gotta.
I mean, you could say the thing about Karina too. Is like you went on this date, he wants somebody else. Like, I don't know. I don't know which one it is, but those are my 2 nominations. You pick one.
Kieran.
Kieran, why is Kieran? Can't pick Kieran.
No.
Not an option. Okay. All right, Brian. Since you won't pick, I will pick Kaz.
All right, Kaz it is.
Is this the apex for the host?
Yeah. If going from 2 out to handle to like hosting a show, definitely Apex.
Yeah, I feel like we should do some more research on that, but I want to keep the show moving. So
Okay.
we're gonna call it apex, and we're gonna move on.
Yep.
Because I don't care, and I don't know if the audience cares.
Nope.
What do you think the production schedule of the show is like?
This is gonna be a month long. I think. They're always recording and just hanging out in the house.
I don't know if they need it to be a month long. This is one day. They got so much good footage in one day.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, maybe it'll be like 2 weeks.
I think 2 weeks. Like, I mean, obviously there's before and after, but like the people are there for like 2 weeks. Do you think that anyone on this show stays together?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. So the one thing I love about these shows is like, okay, so the twins are from London, and like the other girls are from Texas. It's like, okay, if you want to be together, like that's a huge fucking barrier.
Mm-hmm.
And like everyone's coming in here is like, I'm ready to bang. Like there was one person that met the one set of twins said that they wanted a ring on their finger, and that was it. Like everyone else is like here to like use their game and hook up with women, meet exotic women, as some people may have said.
So gross.
Which there's only one set of women in there not from the U.S. So like, it was clear who they were after from that line alone.
So gross. That why did I not put those up for the worst human being?
Why did you not, Brian?
I forgot about them.
You want to amend your worst human being?
Yeah, them.
All right. Let's move into some drinking rules. And we've already discussed anytime anyone makes out, take a shot, which might be too much. I don't know. Cut that off at like 3.
Why are you trying to save our audience? I'm gonna add on to this. Anytime you see somebody with their shirt off, take.
Well, you definitely did. They don't wear shirts on this show.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. Anytime you see a butt, take a drink.
Okay. Well, I mean, we also have to do the obvious one: drink while they drink. There's going to be alcohol in this place.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Drink every time they get in the pool.
I think you should pick somebody you think you want to hook up with, and drink every time they flirt with somebody else.
Ooh, to forget about like the crush. I get it.
I don't know. I think it'd be fun.
That'd be good.
Yeah. There you go. Those are the drinking rules. Some good ones for you. Would the show be better as a Quibi or TikTok?
No, I think that they edited this really well, where it kept moving. I don't think that they need to shorten it really.
Yeah, I agree. I think this one's good length. I like this one. Here we go, Brian. Your favorite. Who's gonna hook up next? Which we kind of already talked about.
Yeah, I mean, who is it that was making out at the end again?
Well, that was Kaz and Diana.
Yeah, I think Kaz. Okay.
I think the 2 choices really are Kaz and Diana. Well, the 3 choices: Kaz, Diana, Dion, and Lily or Maddie. Unclear. I don't know which one it is, but the one they were making out with, or Chris and Jason just find somebody to bang right away. Those are your three options. They could bang each other. Who knows?
Great, Chris. Why do you bring this in? I think it's gonna be Kaz.
I'm gonna go with Dion.
Yeah, Chris and Jason. Like we'll maybe see them in like episode 4.
They're banging. I feel like they could be a front runner.
All right,
They could be. They could be.
we'll find out.
Should we place bets?
I don't know.
We
I
should
don't want
definitely
to.
come up with some bets, Brian.
We should, yeah.
Or we'll go with, think of them. We'll get to them after the questions. All right. What do you love about the show?
I like that it's just seems like a fun dating show. They're trying to push the limits of it and make it a little more awkward, but still make some stuff happen.
I'm going to combine this with the tone of the show question. And I think that the tone of the show is very positive. Like all the hookup talk is a very positive. There's no like negative talk about any of this. And I think that some of these like Love Island style shows can be like kind of like anti-sex and anti like pump up the drama and stuff. And I think that the show kind of like it's there and the edit like definitely downplays all of it. And it like seems very positive. Like the brothers and the sisters and the cousins want each other to hook up, which provides like a nice positive attitude to this whole show. And that's what I love about the show.
I like that.
Brian, do you have anything to say about the tone of the show? Or did I sum it up?
Yeah, you summed it up pretty well.
All right, let's do ratings and then we'll get to bets. So we do a stack ranking system where we do top, middle, bottom, third compared to other reality shows. Brian, what do you got?
I'm gonna put it bottom of the top. I thought it was fast moving. I kind of remember all of it, even though there's like a lot of people moving around. And I'm gonna watch more of it.
VJ put this in middle, top of the middle. And what was the quote he told me, Brian? Do you remember?
I don't.
He was like, he was pretty good. Or
Yeah,
something.
I'd
Something
watch
like
more of it.
something like that. I struggle with this because I do think that I am compelled to watch more of the show, which would definitely put it in the top third. Why not? We'll just put it in the top third. The expectations for the show were so low. I like legitimately hate like Bachelor in Paradise style dating shows. Like it is like it's usually very demoralizing to watch hot people hook up in their 20s on an island. It's just like the cattiness and the fighting back and forth and who's hooking up with who and the drama is fucking mind-numbingly stupid that I hate it. But I think the edit and the positivity that I discussed really like turned the show around. I think edited very well. The positivity really brings the tone back to something that's like enjoyable. And so I'll put it in the top third. You know, as if you're first time listening, there's a couple shows where we see older people date, and those shows are so much better because they're like so devoid of like this whole like hookup culture. Like if you've seen, you can't see My Mom, Your Dad anymore. Thanks HBO.
Boo.
What was the BET show we watched? Like Ready to Love
Yes.
is like the other really good one where it's like, it's just like people in their 30s and 40s living their life. And like week by week, you would see what would happen. So they're not even like stuck in this like drunken drama filled house. And yeah, if you're looking for something interesting like that's what I would recommend. But this show is pretty good. Who knows if it stays pretty good? I don't know.
We'll find out. Guaranteed.
Okay, hear that guarantee from Brian because we're about to make a bunch of bets.
Yeah. I mean, we should just make like 2 bets, and I think that like the one
Well,
I'll do.
we already have the bet on who's going to hook up next.
Yep. And I'm gonna go with Chris and Jason.
So you switching to Chris and Jason.
No. Oh, okay. Sorry.
You already picked Kaz and I picked Dion.
Yes, that was the bet. I was gonna put a new bet in.
Yeah, what's the new bet?
Chris and Jason don't hook up with anybody until episode 4.
And you want me to pick an over under or pick a new episode?
I say over under.
So you say episode 4. I'm going to say before episode 4.
All right.
And you can get after 4 after.
Yeah.
And what are we betting here?
Could be a shotgun bet.
Is that our typical bet? Like, how does a shotgun bet work on the podcast? What if in the outro you get to pick a song for me to sing, and I get a song to pick for you to sing?
Okay.
If like, you know,
Okay.
depending on who comes out on top. So let's pick one more bet. Whoever's out on top gets to pick the outro.
All right. Done deal.
Listen to the outros, people. We need another bet though.
Do we?
Let's see. What's another bet? We could do like a 3. Do you think there's going to be a threesome or more than a twosome in the show? Do you think Chris and Jason are going to hook up with more than one person?
I cannot foresee any threesomes or higher.
I don't think a threesome's going to happen. So, do you think Chris or Jason, either or, are going to hook up with more than one person? So, like,
Yeah.
if Chris or Jason hook up with 2 people.
Yeah, I think they will.
Okay. I also think that. So, I'm not going to take that
Oh.
bet. You weren't supposed to take that bet.
Okay.
All right. I think Joey will not hook up with anyone.
Ooh. Okay. I think he will. All right. So I'd take that.
All right. So there's our 3 bets.
Great.
All right. That's it for our discussion this week. Tell us what you thought about the show on our Twitter poll at Hoop with the Sun on Twitter. Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do some shout outs. Brian, you got a shout out this week?
I finished Cobra Kai.
Season 5.
Yeah. It really dawned on me that these parents are just really excited about watching kids beat the shit out of each other. Like, and when I mean like beat the shit, like you've seen like the karate videos, like little kids like fighting. It's cute and fun. This is like, dude, they're breaking bones and stuff.
Brian, can you tell us about the other reality show that you watched?
Which one?
Kitty Kai.
Oh yeah. So I saw this new reality show on Discovery Plus, and I evaluated it for the pod, and I think it's not worth it, just because it feels documentary like.
But it's on Discovery Plus. It's called Kitty Kai.
Yeah, and I was also kind of like, oh yeah, I would see some kids fight. No,
But not my kids. Other people's kids.
no,
Break their bones.
yeah. Well, they weren't gonna do anything. They seemed like pretty young, like they're not fighting for blood
Yeah.
or studio honor.
Are you caught up on Lord of the Rings or Rings of Power? I guess that is Rings of Power.
I am not, unfortunately.
What about House of the Dragon?
No.
What are you doing? You watching fucking Cobra Kai?
I watched that before Sunday. I watched that between last pod.
Yeah, but Rings of Power comes out on Friday.
Yeah, I watched it mostly Thursday.
What are you doing?
Unfortunately, like things have been busy, and I couldn't find a time to like actually pay attention.
So I can't have our spoiler discussion on those. I think that Rings of Power, the last episode, which was episode 5, spun its wheels a little bit, and I hope that they like really pick up the end of the season. It's been good so far, but like we know the people now. We kind of know the conflict that's coming up, but they really got to start the conflict. Like almost at this point, it's like you're not really setting the conflict up any better than like really what you're doing. So
I hope they don't save it for the end. Like that would suck if it was only during the finale.
and then Rings of Power had this big time jump last episode, which is, it's almost like a whole new like era, and it was kind of jarring because the Alicent and Nymeria or whatever her name was. Were really good actors. Like you really got attached to them, and now they're gone, and it's kind of sad. But I do kind of like this whole like generational storytelling, and I hope they do keep time jumping into like the actual conflict, because you get the feel of who these people are and like what starts these conflicts and the minor details that kind of like snowball effects, you know. And I think it's gonna be a really great show in the long run. I think it's really good. So those are my shout outs. Rick and Morty's back. The season's been pretty good. Survivor's back. Episode 1 was pretty good. A little long, but good.
All right. Dang. I didn't realize Survivor was back.
Yeah, I'm letting everyone know. Anyway, that's it for us this week. You can find us on Twitter at whoputthison. Find us on Facebook.com/whoputthison. You can email us questions and suggestions at whoputthison@gmail.com. You can rate us on iTunes. You can find us on TikTok at Who Put This On Podcast. You know, find us everywhere. Tweet at us. Let us know what you want us to watch. And we'll see you guys next time. It takes two to make a thing go right. It takes two to make it out of sight. It takes two to make a thing go right. It takes two to make it out of sight.